Welcome second graders. Today we're going to continue with lesson 8 for unit 5 module B. The vocabulary words for this lesson are baking, shriveling, and squashed. Baking is when you cook something in the oven, or you could bake something on a hot surface. We usually bake pies, cupcakes, or cakes. The word shriveling, it means shrink or withered. So shriveling is when something becomes smaller. And then the word squashed. Squash is when you smash or flatten something. For example, they have a picture of a tomato getting squashed, or we could squash a bug. Our objectives for this lesson. The conventions objective is I will be able to combine sentences, and the writing objective is I will be able to rewrite the point of view of a scene. Conventions mini lesson, combine sentences. Remember that simple sentences include a subject and a verb and tell a complete thought. To make our writing more interesting, we can combine simple sentences into longer sentences. Many times, simple sentences can be combined by using a comma and a conjunction such as and or but. So let's look at some examples. These simple sentences. The thunder boomed, the lightning flashed. The compound sentence to combine them would be the thunder boomed, comma, and the lightning flashed. A comma followed by the conjunction and joins these two simple sentences and shows that the actions in both sentences happen together. Let's look at our next example. Simple sentences. Anna fell down. She did not get hurt. The compound sentence would be Anna fell down, comma, but she did not get hurt. A comma followed by the conjunction but joins these two simple sentences and shows that the actions in the sentences are in opposition. Opposition means that they go against each other, opposite. So in your online writing journal, under lesson 8, you're going to practice by combining sentences. Combine the simple sentences below into compound sentences. I will read the sentences for you. Number 1. Sam set the table. Mom cooked dinner. Number 2 says, the storm was over. The crops were smashed. I'm going to see if you can do numbers 1 and 2 independently. Okay, our writing lesson, narrative writing. Understand rising action and climax. Narratives are often made up of many events or scenes. Writers use some scenes to help build up an exciting event in the story. They write other scenes so that they happen after the exciting event. A story may be viewed like a roller coaster with hills and valleys. As the story reaches the top of the hill, the exciting part happens, and then the action falls or slows down a bit. Today, you will rewrite a scene from a new point of view, focusing on one exciting event and the events or scenes that lead up to it. So again, we want to think about the plot or the events in a story as a roller coaster. We have the background, so the characters and the setting gets introduced, our rising action. These are the events leading up to the problem or conflict. The climax is the most exciting part of the story. The falling action, the characters work to solve the problem. And then finally the resolution, or it's how the problem gets solved at the end of the story. Okay, so just to review that again, we're going to look more closely at rising action. And again, I want you to think about a roller coaster going up that hill. So the rising action gives the reader a series of events that lead up to the climax. Imagine you just jumped on the roller coaster and it's taking you higher and higher. Your stomach has butterflies and the coaster is building suspense. The rising action builds suspense and the details inform the reader. The climax. The climax is the turning point of the story. This element allows the story to change. Imagine you are at the peak or the very top of the roller coaster and it slowly holds you at the edge before you start to free fall. So let's look at the following examples of rising action and climax from pages 82 to 83 of Going West. We came to a river, all muddy and wide. How will we get across? I asked Papa. So this moment signals the start of the rising action as the writer lets the reader discover that there's a problem. Okay, next, first, The water came up to the horses' knees and then their chests. The writer builds the rising action as the horses go deeper and deeper into the water. At this point, the reader might worry that the wagon won't make it across the river. Suddenly, Papa shouted, "Hold on tight!" The horses were swimming. Water was pouring into the wagon. Here the writer has the rising action nearly reach its peak. The reader feels excitement as the horses swim and the wagon seems to be in danger. Mama held me tight until at last I felt the horses' feet touch bottom again. The writer creates the climax when the horses reach the far side of the river and the crossing is complete. So, to rewrite the point of view of a scene, so here's an example of rewriting Papa's statement from page 98. Spring finally arrived. It was time to plant Mama's garden again. Papa picked up seeds for the garden in town. Getting Mama's garden ready for planting was hard work. Papa turned the soil. He used a shovel. He dug up rocks. Jake and I carried the rocks to a rock pile. Mama spread compost on the soil. Compost would help her plants grow well. Then Mama carefully spread her seeds. She put them in rows. Papa, Jake, and I covered them with soil. Jake and Papa carried water up from the creek. They watered the seeds. We finally finished. We were a muddy mess. We were exhausted, but we were happy about getting the work done. So in your online writing journal under your independent writing practice, you're going to follow these directions. So revisit the class narrative scene. So that would be what you did in the last lesson. And consider where the writing might change in order to write the scene from Mama's or Papa's point of view. Then rewrite the scene from the point of view of Mama or Papa. So again, you're just going to rewrite what you already wrote, but you're going to pretend either that you're Mama or Papa. I am here if you have any questions. You may email me, or we could always do a Google chat or Hangout. Thank you.